Hey everybody, today I will be conducting my first paint and sip video in my studio. I just want to show you a bit of my setup and what you need. So you will of course need your canvas, and then if you're over the age of 21, then you can grab something to drink. If you're not, some water or whatever, or you can grab a snack. You gotta have the paints that you would like. For today, I'm going to go with an orange, pink, and green sunset. I really truly couldn't decide which orange I wanted to try, but this tropical orange has more of a pinkish tone than say this orange right here that's a little more yellow. And I think it might actually blend smoother with the pink. It might give me what I'm looking for, but also if I want a bright tone, I might mix in this one. And then I have this antique white, which you can use a regular white if you like, but I just happened to find this one. Anyway, so with that being said, you do not have to choose the same sunset colors that I did. You can go for a red, orange, and yellow. You can go for whatever colors you would like that you've seen in a sunset. My other item over here is of course the wine glass, and then I also have lotion because we do not want to be out here ashy in the video. Another thing that is vital is a pencil, because you can sketch out whatever you're going to draw on top of the background with your pencil. Get your glass, get your music ready. I have my JBL speaker to the side, ready to play some tunes. Another essential item that you should have, of course, is paintbrushes. Never forget. Now, if you're not comfortable with a really big paintbrush, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't use it just because sometimes you might overdo it with a big paintbrush. I suggest using maybe a paintbrush at about this size. This could be useful. We're gonna fill in the background first. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with our darkest color. For me, that'd be purple. And I'm gonna go ahead and place this on here. You can get yourself a palette to put your paints on, but for me right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it on the background. Okay, so two more essential items I forgot to mention are, of course, napkins and a cup of water. bristles, that's how they get messed up and harder to use. My next color is going to be pink. Some may say, oh, maybe orange looks darker to you all, but in my opinion, I think pink just blends better with purple. I want pink to be next. So go ahead and apply the pink right on the edge. So we're going to do that for each corner. We're going to apply the pink right on the edge that we just finished, and then it should make a nice blend because we just did those edges fresh. Found, like a darker pink, and out of curiosity, I'm going to see what it will look like if I add this pink color into the mix. It's not too different, but I'm not saying you have to add another color, but sometimes you can do that if you feel like it. Particular spots where they look a little lackluster in color, please remember to fill that in. Of course, we can go back over it later because I know the purple, certain paints sometimes paint on more thin just because of their pigment and how they were created, and this purple seems to be of a lighter pigment, and so it's going to take a couple of coats. So now that I put that darker pink on the edges, since the paint is wet, I'm going to go ahead and add the purple back in. And since I'm going to the darker color, I didn't have to wipe my brush fully. The light pink edges are probably dry, so I'm just going to take this and pull this around the canvas so that we have some wet paint to work with. with the orange and do the same thing we've been doing this whole time. Just go around. Sir. Now, what I was thinking of doing is making a circular pattern, so you can choose your side, choose left or right, and make sure you put more orange on one side than the other. So I'm gonna go left with my little white orb in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply more orange to the right side. Okay, now to spice it up a little bit, I think I'm going to go in with the brighter orange a little bit on the edges. Don't worry about a perfect circle and all of that, because why? You know, it's just all an illusion. So I'm gonna take this brighter color and just spice it up a little by putting this on the edge. See how that it glows a little bit? I like it. Then, now that we have the edge of the orb situation, I'm gonna go ahead and take this white and I'm gonna go ahead and bring that in. Now, since we're using a white, which is, well, I'm using an antique white, so it's a little bit off-white. But since we're using this and it's a really light color, when you go to a lighter color, make sure you clean your brush. As you can see, the purple is still thinning a little bit. Like, this looks really blotchy, really thinned out. So I'm definitely gonna go back over that. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with maybe some dark pink and some purple and just fill that edge in. I might get a little bit of light pink if necessary, but it looks like it's a little wet, so I might be able to blend that out. Make sure you don't grab a lot of water in your brush. That's why it's essential to use a napkin to dab it off, because if you bring water back into it, it's gonna thin it out and it's just gonna do that over and over. Okay, y'all, so that thing about artists standing back and looking at their work is not a myth, it is not a game, it is the truth, okay? That is exactly what you should do. So during this time, especially if you have a space that you want to clean, go ahead and do so. If you don't have a little bit of paint on your fingers, I don't know if you're actually painting with me. Alright, I'm gonna turn on my fan so we can maybe dry this a little quicker. You can also grab a hair dryer and dry it. You can take whatever measures you want to dry this, but honestly, it doesn't even have to be fully dry to finish. So now it's time for your pencil. You're gonna take your pencil and sketch out whatever you want. Sometimes I would do things by eye, but in the case if you're not confident, I'd go ahead and just sketch something out, because why not have something laid out or a little bit of a foundation for yourself. If it's not fully dry, it's going to be a little tough, obviously in the wet areas, but it's still very possible to draw on it because a lot of it should be dry. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and draw out some sort of a branch and bird. So what do we want to do here? So I come from the outer edge and form a branch. So wherever you want the bulk of your branch to be, but do not make a straight line because branches are not straight. Okay? And then figure out where you want the bulk of it to end. So this will be the thickest branch. So I'm gonna go ahead and make another line that's copying, that mimics the same shape as the bottom one, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and start drawing some branches that protrude from it. Okay, so once you have a decent tree, then you can move on and paint a bird. What we're gonna do is we're going to draw out some lines for the wings, wingspan. Okay, and then you're going to draw some rounded lines under it. Alright, and when you do that, you're going to go ahead and make a round shape coming from the top wing. So you can start drawing the head of the bird, and then you're going to try So of course you can always fix the shaping later, but just have a rough shape down. So we're gonna make sure that the beak goes downwards a little bit. You don't want it to stick up, it's gonna look odd. Okay, now of course birds have feathers, so when we do paint, we're gonna make the feathers noticeable. Now you can make a split in the wing. Okay, so to make the wing effect, you kind of draw some rounded hooks over the previous line. Okay, now I definitely dragged the wings down too far, but that's okay. This is gonna end up being the body anyway. So from this line where the head is, you can go ahead and drag that line out some and make sure it's at the angle you want your bird to fly. So this way can be dragged. You make sure it's at the angle you want your bird to fly. You're gonna make this look a body bird, and you're gonna kind of mimic this side but just without the beak. So all right, then you're gonna take, you can take this side, pull this out from here, and then you're gonna make this side a little shorter and take a break. So the one color I didn't mention in the beginning was a black. So we're gonna take our black color and paint our silhouettes that we just sketched out. Okay. So you're gonna get smaller paintbrushes, and then you're gonna go ahead and cover up all your lines that you made. Now, if you realize later that you don't like a specific line, just don't go over it with paint, and then you can go back in with the other colors wherever you'll erase as much pencil as you can, and then you'll go back in with the other colors. definitely double check and see if you still want the original drawing that you created. Sometimes, you change your mind. I'm still gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of this bird. I almost neglected the bird. And I hope y'all noticed that I switched off to a brush with a skinnier ends because I wanted some thinner lines. I wanted a little bit of a difference. So like for this branch, add a thin end. I'm kind of feeling it without the droopy branch, but since it's sketched there, it's making me want to draw it in because I see it. Another thing you'll notice is anytime I see pencil, I try my best to cover it. Even if I'm changing the shape of something a little bit or adding to it, sometimes I'll still expand some because I want to cover as much pencil as possible. So now we have our burden, and I'm taking a step back and looking at the full painting to see, do I like it from back here? Are there any changes I want to make? Do I want to add that extra branch or those extra 2 branches that I didn't paint in right there, and right there? So again, while you're evaluating, this is obviously a really good time to take a sip. orange to fill it in. So one thing you can do is try to, of course, cover it up. Now, if you have a really light color, covering up something like black, then you're obviously going to need to take a good amount of that color and fill it in and dab on top of it. So, you don't want to spread it thin, otherwise you'll still see what's under it. And you just try to go to the edges and fill that in. So I tried to perfect this a little bit. And then, of course, I tried to blend it out with the background. Now, as far as this goes, I'm going to go ahead and try my best to erase that out. And then if it doesn't erase fully, then I'll go back in with those colors and go over the semi-erased marks.